Now, the demand for non-profit organization services has increased due to the global economic crisis linked to the coronavirus pandemic. And as a result, NPOs are experiencing increased pressure on their financial resources. To put this in perspective, I'm joined on the line by Keri-Leigh and Executive Trustee for Nation Builder. Keri-Leigh, a very good morning to you, and thank you so much for your time. Now, as the middleman between non-profit organization and corporates, both sectors at this highly crucial time have a very important role to play. How can these two sectors come together to alleviate the pressure within communities who are most vulnerable?
Absolutely. So the not-for-profit sector at the moment is a little unsure, one, of the essential services. So there hasn't been a clear mandate on what is essential services and not. So I was actually on the call yesterday with quite a few not-for-profits, and they were sharing how some of them have got certificates and others aren't able to go and see the people that they normally service. But secondly, there is a lot of really good support and information out there for the small business community who are definitely struggling at the moment through the Solidarity Fund and all sorts of other mechanisms. But when it comes to the not-for-profit sector, there's been very little done with the realization that they're losing funding at the moment. A lot of them can't do normal fundraising activities. The needs increasing, but the financial support is decreasing. So on this call yesterday, we actually had a couple of corporates on the line, and they were saying, you know, as corporate South Africa, we realize, especially those that are very involved in the social development landscape, we realize that we need to think sustainability, and so we need to think long-term, what's this impact going to be post-corona too, and the need for not-for-profits is going to be even greater post-corona because of the economic impact it's having on our nation. So we are looking for ways to contribute to the not-for-profit sector to keep their doors open currently, get them through this difficult season where they're losing funds, so that on the other side of corona, they are able to still service people, and throughout this lockdown, that those that are able to work as essential services are able to support in as much capacity as possible. So actually the Mergon Group has put together a fund called the GAP Fund, and the idea with the GAP Fund is that corporates, business owners, individuals, anyone can actually contribute into that fund, and it is specifically earmarked as a fund, an emergency fund for the not-for-profit sector, either for immediate needs within the crisis or to keep their doors open where they've lost significant funding. So we really want to encourage corporate South Africa individuals to contribute and be part of clubbing together behind something that is going to support the not-for-profit sector.
At this really unprecedented time, what role do NPOs play right now in the face of a lockdown and also beyond supporting communities after lockdown?
So at the moment, multiple NPOs are playing a role in the current relief. So they are working together with municipalities and there's amazing collaboration taking place, especially when it comes to the homeless and being able to provide food and other services to the most vulnerable communities. So the not-for-profit sector is mobilized incredibly. They are struggling a little bit, as I said, with mobility and being able to get to the people that they normally service. But they are really mobilizing. The concern is that multiple people are going to be jobless, are going to, in this time, there's more and more people that are becoming homeless too because they can't pay rental and those kinds of things. So the not-for-profits post-corona are actually trying to establish some kind of plan on how they can start to almost walk a journey with people that have been through quite a traumatic season over the last 3, if not more, weeks, and help them back to a place of being able to be sustainable, to be able to look after their families again, create some kind of income. So the need post-corona is going to be massive, especially considering our downgrade, the economic landscape at the moment too. So all of that is compacting on the situation, and it means that more and more people are going to need support from the social development sector.
I just want you to expand a little bit. You say that there are challenges in reaching the people that you would like to reach. What are some of those challenges?
Absolutely. So some of the challenges are really just mobility. So there's some not-for-profits who have gone to visit or try to make connections to drop off more food parcels with their communities, and they've been turned away by the police. But then there are some not-for-profits that have managed to get critical services certificates, and then they are able to make access. So there's a bit of a grey area. I think it's quite clear as to who is critical services in other arenas, but when it comes to the not-for-profit sector, there haven't been clear boundaries set. So some of them are really trying to abide by the laws. Others are going, well, we definitely are a critical service. So I think we're just looking for some clarity on how much people can serve. I mean, there's also the not-for-profits that run early childhood development centres and schools and aftercare programs and, provide all sorts of services that would normally be very helpful right now as the children go back to school. But most of those children can't go back to school, and I doubt that the online options that many schools are presenting are going to be options for our most vulnerable communities. So there's multiple different layers of services that the not-for-profit community does provide, but only the basic relief services are the ones that are actually currently gaining access to the communities.
In terms of the basic release services, what are some of the top priorities there, especially as COVID-19 has brought to the spotlight the inequalities that are part of the South African fabric?
So their priorities right now are meeting basic needs. So it's food, it's shelter. There's a huge drive with the homelessness, and the homelessness is increasing rapidly. So a lady that I was speaking to in Durban was saying that they were working with the municipality and anticipated about 1,000 people arriving for the services, and they had double the amount arriving, and they're scrambling to try and meet the need. In the Western Cape and in Port Elizabeth, some of the shelters that have now been made into lockdown centres have waiting lists of hundreds of people who come to the lockdown shelter and then are sent away. Their names are taken down, but they're not sent away because there's physically no space. And I know the municipalities are working hard to try and create additional temporary locations. Obviously, that takes a bit of time to implement. So those are really the main priorities right now are just essential human needs, basic needs of food and shelter.
And how can those who want to contribute make their contributions in terms of donations, either monetary or perhaps some non-perishable items that they'd like to contribute?
So monetary donations are really helpful right now, as the not-for-profits are being inundated with many different people trying to deliver things. They're then needing additional volunteers to be able to pick up the items that people are wanting to donate that are physical, tangible items, which again creates a bit of a mobility access challenge, because you can't necessarily send a driver around to collect goods. So we have found that financial contributions are the best right now, because then the organizations can go and purchase the products that are needed. And so you can contribute to the GAP Fund, which was established by the Mergon Group. There is a campaign on BackaBuddy, which is a crowdfunding platform. Under Nation Builder, if you go into the Nation Builder page, you'll find the GAP Fund BackaBuddy campaign there. Alternatively, if you go to any of the Nation Builder social media handles, so it's Nation Builder on Facebook, @BuildSA on Twitter, or Proud Nation Builder on Instagram. We've been tweeting, posting about it for the last week and a half, and if you go onto the page, you'll find the link, and you can either go directly to our website that has the details where you can put your contribution into a bank account, or you can go to the BackaBuddy Fund. And obviously those that want 18A certificates, that's also possible. So that's the best way to really contribute at the moment.
Thank you so much for your time. That was Keri-Leigh Pascal, Executive Trustee for Nation Builder, just speaking about how the demand and the pressure on non-profit organizations is really on the increase during this unprecedented time where, of course, the COVID-19 implications are bringing to the spotlight the inequalities and exposure to the poor and the vulnerable communities. Let's now take a look